doctorate degree in energy efficient building in the year. आवाज कशाला नोट करतो सर? माझा आवाज येतोय का सर्वांना? हॅलो.
Hello, yes, you are audible.
Hi, sir.
So Dr. Rahul sir has been associated with the academics, including the research, testing, and consultancy of civil engineering materials and the project. He is presently working as a professor in Department of Civil Engineering at Vishweshwarya National Institute of Technology, Nagpur. Formerly, it was known as VRC Nagpur. His areas of interest is sustainable construction engineering. He has completed several R&D projects of national and international repute. He is a member of Environmental Clearance Cell constituted by Local Improvement Trust. Today he has decided to deliver his presentation on Introduction to Green Building. Actually, sir, this is one of the topic which is newly introduced by our in our PG syllabus, PG in Environmental Science syllabus under this National Education Policy. So now I would like to request Dr. Archana Mahakalkar. Please proceed for your further proceeding.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, all. Today we have the privilege of being in the presence of a true visionary and dynamic personality in the field of sustainable construction engineering. Our guest speaker has dedicated his career to find innovative solutions for sustainable future. Dr. Rahul Ralegoankar, Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, uh, Vishweshwarya National Institute of Technology, Nagpur, completed his BE, ME in Civil Engineering and PhD in Energy Efficient Building. Sir has 20 years of experience in academic research, testing, consultancy of civil engineering materials, etc. He was awarded one of the most prestigious Indo-US Bhavan Fellowship by Department of Science and Technology, New Delhi, to work at University of Texas, US during 2016. He has been awarded visiting professor post at Liverpool John Moores University, UK since 2019. Apart from US and UK, he also traveled to Australia and Singapore for research exchange program. His novel product design for energy efficient construction material earned him international recognition and multiple prestigious awards. He has completed several research and development projects and currently working on a project funded by Ministry of Coal Mines and Transform Industries Private Limited. He has been awarded the Technology Incubation Support under the Affordable Sustainable Housing Accelerator Program by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. His 7 technologies related to sustainable construction materials were granted patents, while 2 software tools received copyright for designing carbon minus building designs. Till date, more than 175 national international publications were in his credit. He has authored 2 books and contributed many chapters in the International Handbook published by Elsevier and I Global publication. More than 80 students completed their projects under his able guidance. He delivered more than 120 lectures. He is also a member of Board of Studies for several deemed universities. So, dear friends, get ready to be inspired and welcome our today's speaker, Dr. Rahul Ralegaonkar. Sir, please over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, madam. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers. Special thanks to Mishram sir. I am surprised that how he could identify me as a potential speaker for this program. And as we are more familiar with more kind of engineering students, oftenly it becomes very easy for us to narrate some stories or to convey that what kind of work we are executing as an academician with the practitioners. So other day there was a surprise question for me also, that Professor Meshram, he asked me are you a faculty or what you are into? Like, so our role goes in all the baskets, and probably I am more into as a working in the society as a social entrepreneur, and wherein we are helping socially deprived communities through this concept what your particular premier institute has rightly opted for as one of the course curriculum subject, because that would have been my first recommendation, because when I joined this premier institution my first job was to float this subject. So we have multiple subjects. One subject talks about sustainable engineering and another subject talks all about the energy efficiency. So the title itself is brief. I hope in today's world, because most of us are aware about these terminologies, but still, given a chance, I would like to give some brief that how this movement began in India, and then to what extent our role as an academician is important to transfer these concepts from either you say lab to field or something which already exists in the field, how we can transform those kind of structures wherein we can go for creating lesser impact on the environment. So kindly interrupt me, or I will be more than thankful if you guys, whoever is attending, they can post their queries in the chat box. So as given time, it is 1 hour for me. So up to 3 o'clock, I'll be engaging the class. So maybe to an extent, like let's say up to 250, let me talk, and then last 10 minutes, I will be more than happy in whatever language you are comfortable. Please feel free, because our ultimate uh, job is to make everyone understand what this concept is all about. Sorry, just now I finished my college institute lecture and then I am back here. So I have skipped my lunch today. So let's see, sometime probably all of you should be benefited from this talk and should take an active interest in the national projects or the national mission projects where honorable PM, whatever he guides us. There are two national mission projects. One is housing for all, wherein we try to design and develop some low cost alternatives for housing of urban slum units. As well, there is another need wherein more environmentalists are actively involved, wherein we talk about Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, wherein the manufacturing of toilet units, either standalone or integrated at various locations, those can be focused or pitched in with the help of these concepts what they talk. So that is one area which I would like to highlight a bit. So this is the movement what has happened in our country, and probably you can also get online that how the green building system evolved in our country. So you have various institutions, but oftenly, as we say, that every work starts with some kind of audits, right? So there are established or the set methods, or there are equipments, and which helps to audit various kind of structures. And I need not have to tell you either from the student perspective or a professional perspective, because we all reside in our homes. We also use a lot of built environment. So we try to talk something in terms of indoor environment. When somebody talks about environment, we try to understand it is like atmosphere, how it behaves, and so on and so forth. But how about the built forms, what the engineers they create, and what kind of comfort I give to the occupants? If it is not having the comfort, probably it becomes problematic. Like it's like some of the examples are physical parameters. When you talk something about physical parameters, a place like Nagpur where temperature is predominant, recently our summer season has it got over, and if you are not given a chance to use say desert cooler, right, then it becomes really odd for me to work or to deliver either at workplace or at home, and so on and so forth. So those are all the cases why the built environment or the indoor environment plays essential role with the human beings. However, the story began like it's almost 20 years now, wherein initially it started with Terry. I hope being an environmentalist, most of you must be knowing what is the meaning of Terry. And then from Terry, they evolve some kind of group wherein they call it as Griha. which is nothing but green rating for integrated habitat assessment. Equivalently, if you see, that was the government initiative. However, from private key players, you could see that there is a lead rating system, that is leadership in energy and environment. So these two rating systems initially they evolved, and then subsequently other ministries they came forward to support what they wanted to design. So we wanted to come up that what kind of adverse implications these civil engineers are creating in the environment, and how to reduce the adverse impact to the environment. So that was the kind concern. But again, as an engineer, what I believe, that this should be mandate. But still, if you see and you go and approach the municipal authorities, you will see this is not a mandatory approach, it is still a voluntary approach. I mean to say that mandatory, I mean to say that unless and until you comply the norms of green building, I will not give you the certification to go for construction. That is one side. And voluntary means like, okay, this is the kind of system is available, otherwise there is no need. This I'm talking from the perspective of small projects. When we go for the initial approval for large scale projects having the building footprint of more than 10,000 square feet, then all the challenges they crop. Then you also have guidelines for the building related aspects, wherein Bureau of Energy Efficiency, they have done a wonderful job. And you can see there is a code called as ECBC. This is Energy Conservation Building Code. So why I'm focusing more on the standards, because as a student, as an academician, if you all understand what the standards talk about, and then we need to identify that what is the difference, or where the lacuna is between the standards as well as the practices, and if we can bridge them. And that is how our job or our role goes, that we keep on auditing various structures from the environmental perspective. And then you can see now public works department, they have accepted that yes, the building should be green. What is it that we can go a little bit as we move further, but we need to understand how the concept of green building evolved into the construction industry. Then we moved as the Griha norms, they are for the government structures. However, lead norms, they are for all private structures. And then people have started using both for some or the other applications. And then they also have the program called as capacity building. Now, why this is important? Because nowadays in India, getting a job is a little bit challenging. A job which gives you satisfaction, in fact, right? So you can definitely undergo these kind of training programs from the certifying agencies. That is, you have Griha and Lead, and then based on 3 days study, if you become a qualified particular expert for the various audit related projects, then you will be termed as the auditor for the green building related activities. So that is one area where probably you can encash, and then you can be a auditor, wherein this is a certified concept, wherein people are practicing in the society under the umbrella of Griha or IGBC. And however, now these builders association, they have also accepted, but as I said, most of the municipal authorities, this is still voluntary. You can see we have an example of PCMC, that is Pimpri Chinchwad Municipal Corporation, wherein they have made it a mandate that yes, this should not be probably there should not be any structure which should be constructed without the concept of green building. As we are all more working with the construction materials, so we have product catalogs, and probably you can see what kind of in VNIT the kind of various products what I have designed or our students have designed, that I will share with you. However, there are a lot of commercial products which are already existing in the market. When you go for your own house construction, or maybe in your institution, you have to take a decision that which products are good. For that, you can always refer to these catalogs, from where you can get enough information about the resource conservation or the good products which has lesser impact in the environment. So what ultimately goes is that every client or every end user wants some kind of you can say the ratings or probably certification for the product projects which you file for maybe any of these agencies, what I have said earlier. So when I talk about Griha, you have star ratings, like the way you have air conditioners, refrigeration units, and so on and so forth. So you have multiple star rating system, and as we write the exam, it is very similar. You have to get the threshold values. So threshold values are shown in front of you, which ranges from somewhere like 40% marks are normally for passing, what we all understand, from where the journey of fetching the certification starts, right? And then there are ranges, so first class, second class, and then distinction, the way we understand, right? So these are all the standard guidelines what they try to talk about. And you can see there are various aspects, like on the left hand side, if you see the section where I'm moving my cursor, or if I can get laser pointer, you can see these are the criterias, right? So probably as an environmentalist, hope you understand the concept of water conservation, waste management, right? However, equivalently, energy also has direct implication to the society. Then you talk about site planning. So these are all various aspects. So some aspects can be in the basket from the concept of environmentalists, some or the few points maybe from civil engineering perspective. So I will only try to project something which is related with the environmentalists, right? And then we can take the things further. These are all the various criteria. As I said, like if you want to first audit the infrastructure what I am using either in my in the premise where I reside, or something when you talk about maybe my office building and so on and so forth. So there are standard rating points or the criteria that maybe if we talk about say something which is easily understood somebody can understand, is if I talk about water saving, right? So there is a criteria number 12 which talks about efficient use of water during construction. So now this is one part where civil engineers need to project. So hopefully you must have seen lot of construction activities which are happening in our city, and when you see a cement based road, people they put the gunny bags and then you pour water. So why it is being done? So because gunny bags they absorb moisture, and when I use cement wherein there is a fundamentally concept of heat of hydration, again it is a chemistry, right? So to avoid the bad impact of heat of hydration where I don't want to see any cracks, normally we call it as curing, right? So you pour water. So how minimal water I can use? So there are construction chemicals which keeps the surfaces moist and so on and so forth. So that is all about the product design, what we try to understand. However, you talk about water reuse. So how many places you have seen that their water is being reused? Or also I can say that as most of you must be from Nagpur, you can refer to Nagpur Municipal Authority website, and I could see that there are certain fact documents somewhere in late 2010 onwards. They have said every building should have rainwater harvesting, and do we really have? So that is also a question mark. But you can see the water conservation, water recycling, water reuse. If I want to highlight, there are multiple points. So only for water I can see 9 plus 7 plus 2 plus 1, right? So this is almost 19 marks are there for my efficient use of water, which is also one of the precious resource. However, when you talk about energy and occupants comfort, there are 25 marks which are one of the maximum weighted criteria, and that's why utilization of energy in a efficient way is very essential. uh, some of the standard documents in civil engineering, what we know is per capita per day water demand is around 150 liters. That is very well mentioned, right? And then that is also documented. You can google a bit that how much energy I can use per unit area of my building, and there are no guidelines as such till now. So that's the worry probably either engineers or as a human being as a thinker, for all of us, it's a big question. Who's going to get these guidelines for us? So for my water, I have a standard limit, but for energy, there are no limits. And if you are rich, you can afford any number of air conditioners, any number of vehicles where you can have carbon pollution and so on and so forth. So probably that's why even government says that like efficient use of energy and occupants comfort need to be praised a lot when you talk about a green building. And obviously then waste management plays a major role for various aspects. You can see, I will try to highlight something on sustainable materials because this is also interesting part for anyone to know, and anyone who wish to advocate these particular aspects. Probably I'll be more than happy to join hands, because since last 20 years we have been only working for sustainable construction materials and how they can impact the comfort as well as they can reduce the environmental impact. So that is one part. And obviously, as we say, like most of the guys, they talk about research, right? So even innovation has 4 points. So this exam, although it is for 100 marks, but 4 points are bonus. And then that is how it goes. If you get into each and every criteria in depth, probably you will try to understand that how to evaluate, but there are standard marks or ratings for each particular point, right? So the criteria are very well defined into the system as far as green building is concerned, right? I can just take few points. So this is the detailed slide. So at the end, if you want, I can always share. As I said, that we teach this subject to the students since last more than 10 years, and all those almost these basic things are available in the public domain. So there is nothing secret that what VNIT has designed or developed, but this is primarily the entire system which is available, and we need to understand that how these points are to be awarded or to be considered, right? So let's talk about energy and occupants comfort. Any one point I can pick, wherein renewable energy. Now you see, for renewable energy, I'm just reading, this is point number 10 where I have put my cursor. It talks about rated capacity of the renewable energy system installed on site conforms to the installation of 1 kilowatt of power per 500 square meter of total built up area as a threshold. Now this itself is a challenge, right? Now there are a lot of aspects, but as a common man, if I want to tell you that, do you this is a concept where fundamentally, if you want to understand, it is the decentralized approach wherein you meet your resources by your own means, right? So this is the initial investment. Now again, when you talk about renewable energy, probably we need to understand that how much energy, the baseline is how much energy is required in a building. So as an energy auditor, if we want to work or if we want to understand, we need to first evolve with a concept that how much is the total billing what I do, how much energy I exploit to meet my all the demands in the premise, say looking from the perspective of entire institute, right? Later you can think that how much renewable energy. So as per the green building norms, it is around, for the surrounding, if you can meet around 30%, right? Around 30% of your energy, if that can be met using renewable energy, you can get these 6 marks. So this is the baseline. So first you have to get your total demand, and then from total demand you have to just see that how much this for 30%, how much solar PV panels I can install. So this is one way. Or you also have bioenergies. There are different ways to meet the energy demand. It's not only the solar, but there like what I say is there are means. So when you talk about renewable, primarily we can say that in our individual homes, one can go, you cannot have, every individual house cannot have biogas, but yes, you can have a number of solar panels which can help to generate electricity either for lighting or for water heating and so on and so forth. So there are standards designs, and we need to look into this. Even why architectural designs play an important role, because earlier days people used to understand that, all seniors, they will agree with me, that the fundamental concept of cross ventilation, right? Because there were more open spaces, you used to get more light, more fresh air from all the corners. But now, as there is a dense population, there are dense jungles of concrete, what we call, then all these issues crop up. However, it is also been said that how beautifully one can design so that you can meet your lighting demand either in the offices or in your rooms at particular, you can say, using natural daylights. So that is also one part which is being well taken in the energies, and so on and so forth. There are multiple points. As the time is short, I can skip, or I'll skip this, but however, these slides I will share with sir, and then hopefully he will share it with all the audiences, where you can go through this, and you can always put me somewhere in the loop if anything which is practically you are trying to get it in the project. We will definitely try our best to help you out. So now this is again sustainable building material. Probably people must have heard a bit about the various waste what we generate. So this is like something which it touches very close to my heart, and I'll be more than happy if anybody has any interest, we can discuss more. But it's typically the solid waste management. So we have huge amount of waste which are being generated by the communities or in the society, and can you use them for some waste to wealth, under waste to wealth concept, can you generate some kind of resource for the society? So here it is being said that almost 40% of your building blocks, right, they should be from waste. So one kind of waste what we have, most of us must be knowing, is so called as fly ash, right? But it is not like that, it is a byproduct. I don't say it is a waste, we call it as byproduct. So there is nothing waste on this mother earth, what we have to understand as an environmentalist. And our job is, can you convert this waste to wealth or byproduct to wealth, right? So fly ash, when you say, it is the byproduct of coal after burning, right? So what is left out is only ash, and from that people have started manufacturing fly ash bricks, right? And then why clay bricks are not good? Either somebody may say they are good because they are thermally efficient, but from the environmental perspective, I say they are not good. And now even government has banned. There were certain big articles that none of the red clay bricks should be approved because you exploit top fertile soil, which is not a good sign. And then for manufacturing it, you need kiln, right? So in kiln, you burn those bricks. So that is also a challenge where you again need energy. So when a product is designed, we call it as embodied energy. How much energy is required to manufacture a product? How much energy is required to transfer the product from manufacturing unit to the site where it is being executed? And those are all the in-depth concepts or studies when you talk anything about materials, and probably you need to figure out that which are all those products. And that's why there is a concept of using the products which are locally available, right? So that is locally available, or the definition of sustainability as far as green building is concerned, it says that you need to buy anything which is only within the premise of 50 kilometers buffer zone, and so on so forth. As I said, that for innovation also, there are, if you feel that there is a novelty, right? Like, just to give you a practical example, maybe in our childhood, or the guys who are pretty senior, they will also accept that there was no concept of water filters earlier. Whatever water which is coming from municipal authority, we used to drink. Later on, it has become fashion because all stars, they put something in our mind. Stars means film stars, I said. Every day whenever you will watch TV, more kind of advertisements, or in radio you will always see that use Kentaro, somebody says that is the best water. That, right? So what we say is, nobody thinks about how much water you are rejecting. So why green buildings have to be there, why these resource conservation has to be there, that we need to understand. We need to sensitize the community that whatever we are following, that is not correct. And then always, like, when the innovations are there, probably you need to see that you are not wasting any resource. So that is also one point. So we say that sky is the limit for innovation, and always as per our need, we keep on modifying our requirements, and then there is improvisation in the technologies, right? So I can just move further, and what are all the national mission? I can just, as the time is short, maybe we can quickly move on. For us, this is our bread and butter or the cake. What we try to understand what the construction materials for a common man is. So a majority of the people, they talk in terms of masonry as well as concrete, what we always see in and around us. And for every product there is a binder, we call it as cement. And to meet other requirements of the particular product, there are only two ingredients, either you say fine aggregates or coarse aggregates, right? So fine aggregates means like sand. Coarse aggregate, probably you must have seen black colored, you can say those aggregates, we call them as coarse aggregates, right? uh, but can we meet these demand from alternate sources? So when we started exploring in and around Nagpur, there were huge potential aspects, right? So we talk about utilization of solid waste into our construction industry, which talks either from the perspective of industrial waste as well as agricultural waste, right? And then you also, like, we civil engineers also generate huge amount of C&D waste. Recently, the last municipal commissioner, when he left Nagpur, he said he has initiated this mission for Nagpur, stating that there will be no C&D waste. And I hope everybody must be reading some newspaper, right? I think today demolition of flyover in front of railway station is ongoing. If you get a chance, try to visit and check that where that waste is going, right? So again, that must go to Bhandewadi probably. And then what they are going to do, that also you can check. It is no way segregated. So hopefully we all understand the art of segregation of waste as an environmentalist, that why it is important. But no, as far as practices are concerned, probably there's a huge difference between what we try to wish have it in the society and then what primarily people are doing. uh, this is how it goes. And we try to see that can we use these solid waste, various types of waste, and can we replace either as a binder or as an aggregate for potential construction material, right? And you can see these are the fact sheets from government perspective, what government of India has given some kind of inputs. And initially, like, majority of our products, they are all focusing on agricultural waste. We generate huge amount of waste. Hopefully people are all aware that whatever agricultural residue what we have, we convert them into biobriquettes. So they are the alternate fuels which are being used. And nowadays most of the medium scale and small scale industries, they are converting their fueling pattern from your coal to agro based products, right? So this is one part. Then when you say about C&D waste, that also is very high in our society. This is a national scenario. I'm not talking from the scenario of Nagpur only. So what we primarily do is, I'm not going to use any technical terms, right? So however, I just wish to let you know that we need to understand the feasibility of those kind of products what we have, right? So for that, standard tests are there, right? We need to characterize those particular products. We need to understand the surface morphology. We need to understand what that product is all about. Does it have kind of heavy metals? I have shown you one example of mine overburden where we are right now working with WCL. Wherein kind of you have chemicals, if they have heavy metals, probably that's not going to help me for construction industry. So feasibility evaluation is very much essential. And then I will just keep, but these are some kind of multi-story structures that we need to believe that it's not only India, but across the globe, people have understood the art of using waste, right? So these are the success stories. This is from first figure is from South Africa, then you have UK, and so on and so forth. So just looking at that, how can we facilitate, how can we build this particular ecosystem of going more into greener constructions, right? When we began like 10 years back, there were hardly one or two buildings in Nagpur I'm talking about. You just see so much of construction activity happening around us. There are only few structures which are green certified or green rated, in fact. but there are a lot of agencies whom we can sensitize, we can get associated and try to put all our concerns that how they are, and we are by and large we are connected with more or less more with most of them, wherein we give our inputs, we try to learn either from them or we give them some solutions in terms of some kind of uh, techno-social challenges what we have in the society as far as meeting the green buildings are concerned, wherein primary focus is to go for conserving the resources, that is the right construction material, then reducing the water usage throughout the life cycle of the structure, and then you talk about energy. So how can we reduce the load for the conventional energy? It's not only putting the solar panel, but how beautifully we design the structure so that my demand itself goes down. So the some kind of C&D waste we could see, and this was one of the examples. Like I could show you that this is point number 4, which is again available in the public domain. When I talk something for Nagpur, how much waste generation was there, which was recorded or which was given by the government, it is 1.12 trillions per day. So it's not a small amount. Now you can see most of the places where redevelopment is happening, where that waste is going, either people they talk about backfilling, right? However, it has a huge potential to be sold back for construction materials, where you can save your soil and natural resources. So this is how the NMC they talks about dumping the waste to the Bandewadi area, and then again we don't know whether it is being segregated or not. Yes, but under standards, I'm talking about standards, right? So as a civil engineer or as a material manufacturer, my job is to make sure that these products can go into some real life projects, right? So we say that utilization of waste up to 25% in concrete is permissible, and that is why we started doing this kind of business, manufacturing the products. And when we say 25% of the commercially available product, if I am saving, I also make the end product which is cost effective. That is also one important part, because in India, anything which is cheaper, that can only go into the society. Otherwise, it's going to be challenging for social challenges. There are standard ways, standard methods of meeting this particular demand, and then you have defined ways of doing this business. But I haven't seen any particular operating, I can say, unit which does these kind of processing. Probably in Nagpur it is not, but if anybody has potential, you can do this business, probably because these kind of mobile equipments are available now in the market. Even a place like Delhi, where people are doing this business of segregating the various materials and then selling back to the construction manufacturers where the products are being made. And these are some of the examples. Like this is in Ahmedabad, C&D waste processing unit. Then this is in UP, and so on and so forth. So you have a number of materials, right? Can they be used? You can see that there are a lot of manufacturers who are ready to buy, and we can develop some wonderful products like this. So right now, this product you can see, this is a ready-made prefabricated toilet unit in our campus. One of the toilet units. So these both are the same photographs, right? So from the west we have generated these, and we have also not used any cement, because cement manufacturing process itself is a huge, or it's a high energy intensive, and again it generates a lot of carbon. So we wanted to change the philosophy, and there's a lot of chemistry which is involved, but making the end products to this tune is for sure available. If any one of you has keen interest, you can visit my lab, maybe on vacation, on any holiday. I can take you. For me, my lab was always the roof, where we have demonstrated all our technologies in a small scale model, so that anyone can feel that what these products are all about. They're almost 8 to 10 years. All structures are standing very safely and robustly. So some of the products what we have used, I will just highlight, because we are dealing, or we are all like kind of more from the environment. So we have used recycled paper mill waste, obviously C&D waste, sugarcane bagasse ash, biobriquettes, then co-fired bagasse ash. So these are all some of the products where we have tried the usage of them into these materials. A lot of products are available into the these kind of text or literatures are available in the scientific documents. You can refer, and maybe you can study a bit for your further, maybe for any help if they are of either from marketing perspective or learning perspective, anything it can go. So what we are trying to, as I said, usage or design of the product. Initially, what I've said is we want to have sustainable product. When it comes to the sustainability, for me, we need to understand that socially something should be acceptable, right? Economically also it should be viable, and third is it should not create any adverse impact on the environment. So these three points if we made, that becomes a sustainable product for me. We wanted to design a lightweight product. Probably recently you must have seen that some kind of earthquake, whenever it will be there, most of the people they will die because a heavy object falls on someone's head, right? So maybe these kind of some of the examples. So having a lightweight products, there are multiple benefits. Also, you save a lot of steel. So manufacturing steel is uh, I can say it's a huge, again, energy intensive process. We wanted to hit the bottom line, that is, as we are working for socially deprived communities in the urban slums, so it should be affordable, right? And then modular, I mean to say, it can be a small product, it can be a bigger product. As per the client's requirement, we can manufacture. And then obviously any product what we design, we need to have the compliance with the standards. So for any engineering product, there are BIS, that is Bureau of Indian Standards. So they have defined guidelines for each and every point. And then the way probably you must have done some experiments in your class 12th for water, right? So you try to evaluate number of parameters, and then we check whether those parameters are within permissible limit or not. If they are in permissible limit, we call it as potable water, or maybe for any XYZ use, and so on and so forth. So that is the meaning why do we need to comply with the standards. And the most important part, whenever we design a product, it should have low carbon content or low embodied energy. Embodied energy, earlier I said, so the energy that is required to manufacture a product. So you can see some of the technology transfers. So for which I am always keen, I am always ready. Most of the products what we make, recently we have come up with our own toilet unit, security guard rooms, which we have given to some of the industries for testing purposes. So this is G+1 house, which we have done in Pandrabudi region, in the Pandrabudi slum, in fact, right, which is being monitored. And you can see the potential, right? All these waste, recycled paper mill waste, sugarcane bagasse ash, CND waste, biobriquettes, and so on, granulated blast furnace slag, and so on and so forth. We could evaluate, or we could check the feasibility, and you see the wonders. Almost in my concrete, up to 100%, I can go for waste utilization for meeting one of the ingredients, right? So there's a lot of potential of use of all these waste. Only we need to, as per NEP, as sir has rightly said, now NEP talks about cross boundary. There is no boundary of learning. There is nothing like a civil engineering or environmental science, right? If we blend together, probably something good can happen for the society. That is what we believe, and we are already working on the similar pattern since the ages. So these are the live products what we have in our lab. You can see them. They are all cost effective in the market. Whatever bricks you get, the cost is around 5 to 6 rupees. So we have our own plant in campus. So this cost goes somewhere around 2 to 3 rupees, right? And the energy is also less. You can see this is your burnt clay brick. BC stands for burnt clay brick. So embodied energy is too high, and fly ash bricks, it also has 2.36. These values we have estimated. However, other values we have done for our own products. What we believe is the product performance evaluation. So we do a lot of laboratory testing. We do a lot with on-site testing, and also we do a computational testing for the products, wherein you can see now here with the base case, the peak cooling load was 100. However, we could reach, or we could save almost 20% of your cooling demand into the structures using appropriate materials when we have n number of product libraries. Yeah, so this is the software. I'm not going to talk a lot. Yeah. So just wanted to show one comparison, right? So more or less cost wise, however, your uh, thermal part as far as Nagpur, place like Nagpur is concerned, we could come up that almost thermal conductivity has gone down. So thermal conductivity is reciprocal to thermal resistivity, right? So our products are more thermally resistance. So, or you can say efficient. In fact, you could design or develop a product which is light in density. That's also going to help for multi-story structures. And you can see here some kind of outcomes I have highlighted here for one of the products, which talks about saving into the cost of the end structure, right? Reduction in energy, right? Embodied energy by 30%. So it's a greener revolution for these kind of products, right? When I'm using these efficient products, which are thermally efficient, so I can reduce the cooling demand as well. And we could come up with the appropriate fabric of the structure. That was more important for us. So as I said, this is only motivation for the younger generation or the next generation, right? So whatever research we try in our labs, we demonstrate on the field. So this is what the terrace what I have, and various technologies we have demonstrated. Here's my colleague, my friend, Dr. Sachin, who is from chemical engineering, with whom I started journey initially. And then now we are working independently. He has his own passion of using waste for agricultural part. But however, as I am a civil engineer, I am more working into the civil construction materials. Most of these products are being audited, not only nationally, but also we comply with we go with the international experts who come and check and certify our products. So this was one mission. As I said, although you are an academician, see to it, we have holiday, we have break, right? Start moving into the masses and try to understand, try to solve their problems, right? This is one of the products what we designed 5 to 6 years back, and we gave a shelter to one of the socially deprived family just to check what is the impact, right? Upscaling of the concept from lab manufacturing units, they have accepted our product and they allowed us to go for mass scaling of these kind of products in their labs, right? This is one wonderful example which I wanted to see, that as our passion goes continuously, that we try to convince, this is a place called Gadchiroli, right? So with Ministry of Environment and Forest, what we have done is we try to understand what is the problem of Nakshalites, right? So we accepted the challenge that we can convert the mindset of Nakshalites, and we try to sensitize their ladies, like either wife, sister, mother, whosoever was senior in their family, that why their wards they are doing something wrong, right? So what we have done is, first the MOEF, they have given some kind of uh, day-to-day job for these ladies. So they started earning, and then for these people, they convinced that okay, this is a good organization. They wanted to adopt you, accept you for your own livelihood. And then we went there, we made them learn how to manufacture the products. So now they have, this is a place called Chamorshi and Vadsa. Those were the two places where they have gone for brick making and paver making blocks. They have purchased the machine, and these people, they are manufacturing by their own, where we have given them the training and how to design using locally available waste materials. That was our intervention with them. So this is a full scale model what it is, and it is showing that reduction in the weight of the structure, right? Saving in the cost, and also the temperature control where your directly energy is involved, which talks about carbon footprint accounting, right? We were one of the for smart city, whatever we have. I don't want to go for these parts. Yeah, but I can just, as I said, time is very short. It is exactly in my watch it is 2:51. So maybe this is our last or one of our latest product what we are working with. So with Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, as we were one of the winners, you can see at the ninth where VNIT I am representing. So we are one of the national mission project initiators, wherein we are promoting the use of more and more agricultural waste. So anybody who has enough farming, right? Or you have like something like agro background, and if you have enough waste, do contact us. We will take it from you and we will process it and we'll put them into our construction materials. But we are going ahead a lot with the novel technologies, where we are going for prefabricated unit and jointless construction and so on so forth. It is more into engineering. As the time is short, I'll not reveal much, but still that product is under design and development stage. Maybe down the line, after 2 to 3 years, hope we will be in a position to transfer the technology from our lab to national mission projects. So maybe I don't know how much time do we have, but as the time is less, I can stop here, and then I have enough material because I teach this subject for 40 hours and given a chance that out of 40 hours, if I have to complete everything in 1 hour, it's next to impossible. But I'll be more than happy if anybody wants to say anything. I can share, or maybe for water, if I can see something. This is all more from materials and the energy savings. For water, let me check quickly. If I have few slides, I can show you, because you see these are all the energy related aspects. If you get a chance, probably as an environmentalist, either student or a teacher or a researcher, uh, Honorable President uh, Pratibha Tai Patil, right? She initiated one mission called as Roshni. So Roshni project, with this title, if you can identify something, you will get to know what are all kind of innovations as far as green buildings were done at President's house, right? So that will so this is a case from President's house what we have. So as time is less and there are enough stories to tell, lot of software tool programs are available in the public domain, which can be used, which can be made available. This is all for solar, how to go for solar designs. And then for water, I'm just, yeah, this is for water something, right? So let me show you. Hopefully there has to be, yeah. How do we go for calculations and estimations? So it's all like Excel based work, right? More from renewable energy. I have more into the energy, like energy and materials. So you can see energy and materials are more. But yeah, these are all the questions which I can skip, which we used to have the session with most of the technical people. So this is 54. I have another 6 minutes to go. But better rather than I speak, I'll be more than happy to interact with some of the questions I will be more than happy to answer. Thank you. Over to you, organizers.
Sir, I'm having one
Hello,
question. Hello, Dr.
sir.
Rahul sir. Yeah, I'm
Sir.
having one question. Apart
Yeah.
from environmental benefits by constructing all these green buildings, is there any
Mhm.
social benefit, or what we call it as an economic benefits? Is there any economic
Yes.
benefit of?
Yes. So as I have shown you that some kind of products which are sustainable. So obviously, when I am partially substituting the ingredients of a product by say 50% waste, right? So the product itself is cost effective. That is what one part. And normally nowadays, what we do is we go for life cycle assessment. So when somebody says I have installed a solar panel, right? So its payback period is 7 to 8 years. So one has to wait, but your building is for 50 years. So one has to understand that economics is for sure there. Sometimes it is initial investment is high, but when you do the life cycle assessment for any particular product or technology, that becomes efficient from the cost as well as environmental perspective.
Yeah, okay, thank you, sir.
Hope I
Now,
could answer. Yeah.
yeah.
Sir,
Now I would like to request
question.
all the rest of the participants.
Uh, Thank you,
Please
sir.
go
Good
on
afternoon,
asking.
sir. I have one question, sir. Uh,
Yeah.
my doctoral thesis is on affordable housing initiatives for urban poor in Nagpur. And I'm about to
Okay.
submit my thesis. My question
Great.
is that do we have like sustainable practices for affordable housing for urban poor in Nagpur in terms of energy
Yes.
efficiency? Like,
Not actually energy, but yes, the materials they are using is all about the fly ash and all. So they are using lot of waste material, That is again a product which is commercially available, and the novel products they are yet to use. However, they are using traditional practices to an extent. They are getting the water supply, but there is no, as such, we say, they have hygienic sanitation now, wherever they have redeveloped these projects and all. So that is one part. However, for energy efficiency as such, till now they have not done. Even in, you can see bigger homes also do not have solar PV. So how these poor people will afford the initial cost? That itself is a question, right?
Okay,
So,
sir.
but still, that is on the way. Only I can say to an extent they have used the products,
Okay.
construction materials. Yeah, yeah.
So the cost of construction has been reduced because of the use of sustainable materials.
Best. Yes, yes, to an extent,
Oh,
right.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Rahul sir, if suppose by during our official hour, I will come along with my students for visiting your laboratory.
Yeah, for that, lot of approvals needs to be taken. So
Yeah,
as
I
you know,
know.
this is also,
I used to take
so
all my
that's what I
colleagues
say.
to NEERI and
Yeah.
MPCB.
Ours
Right.
as such, like our institute is also now fully crowded with almost, like on campus we have 5,000 students. So if given later, I will try to pursue and I'll ask. It has to be approved by our director. If it is approved, I won't mind anybody anytime. But if the number of students are less, you are most welcome on Saturday, Sunday, because they are all the holidays for us. So anybody can come and see our lab, the products and technologies what we have demonstrated.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Our group
Right.
is short in number only.
Okay, okay.
Please, participant, please ask your queries. Dr. Shale. If no queries, then I would like to request Archana Mahakalkar, madam. Please go for the formal vote of thanks.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. On behalf of UGC HRDC Nagpur, Sevadal Mahila Mahavidyalaya, and from all participants, thank you very much, sir, for your valuable information on green building concept, its product, art of using waste. Sir, today we got a new concept in environment point of view, that is nothing waste on this mother earth, and we can use it as a byproduct for sustainable development. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable information. Thank you.
Thank you. So may I leave the meeting?
Yes, sir. Please, please.
Sir, with your kind permission. Thank you once again for extending this opportunity. Thank you, sir. Pleasure interacting with you all. Bye.
We'll keep in touch with you, sir.
Surely, sir. Thank you.